Today we're going to have a look at the component browser in Dymola. The component browser by default is docked in the lower left hand side of the Dymola window. If it's not appearing in your Dymola instance, you can check this button down here, component browser, and see whether it's clicked in or not. So we can activate and deactivate the window by clicking on component browser in the bottom part of the Dymola window. To find out why and how the component browser can be useful to you, we're going to open up an experiment. The experiment we're going to open up is within Modelica standard library, within the blocks package, within examples, and is called PID controller. This is just an example experiment or Modelica class that we're going to have a look at to understand how we can use a component browser. So the component browser will give you a list of all the objects that have been used inside this particular experiment. It also gives you the hierarchy of the experiment, so it lets you view what it extends from. So in our case, the PID controller experiment extends from an example icon within Modelica icons. We can then start exploring the remainder of the objects that are included in this experiment. So for example, if I wanted to explore the inertia in more detail, I can simply expand the inertia line, and the first information I'm given is what that extends from. So it extends from partial two flanges, and within partial two flanges you can see the definition of flange A and flange B. So the green square symbolizes a connector. Similarly, if we expand PI, this model here, and actually you can tell which one it is visually by clicking on the actual line, and it will bring up the two red squares on opposite corners of the actual block in this particular case. So we can see that this particular block PI has a connector added to it, UFF, and it also has connectors that it's inherited from SV control. US, the set point, UM, the measured signal, and Y, the output. Please note that not all connectors might be visible in the diagram layer if these have been conditionally removed via a Boolean. More on that in another Dymola Basics webinar. So we can also double click on that particular line referring to a particular object or component, and we can then explore it either graphically or in the text without having to switch to that specific component in the package browser. If we then want to locate particular declarations of components, then we can simply click on the one we're interested in the list, and it will take us to the part of the code that's related to that declaration of a particular component. Then if we want to go back to the experiment we started from, simply double click on the top of a tree that you have in the component browser, and we can always switch to graphics if we want the graphics layer, and here we are back where we started from. So in summary, the component browser is a convenient way of exploring Modelica classes such as experiments, to get to know the components better, to dig down, to understand what equations have been used in those components, connectors for example, and to quickly be able to get back to the experiment that we want to simulate in this particular example.